Welcome to Hardly, where books turn into 3 stories, refreshing your knowledge in minutes. Today, we study together Johann Hari's book, Stolen Focus, Why You Can't Pay Attention and How to Think Deeply Again, in which we probe into the systemic forces eroding our ability to focus and the urgent need to reclaim deep attention. Johann Hari is a writer for the New York Times. Don't go away. Hardly the editor will be right back with the story. Let me share with you 3 stories that vividly illustrate how systemic forces are silently eroding our ability to focus, each offering a glimpse into the struggles we face today. The first story comes from the office of a highly successful advertising executive named Sophie. Sophie was once a master of multitasking, known for juggling numerous projects at once with grace. However, as the years went by, she noticed a troubling shift. Her workdays, once filled with creative energy, became a blur of constant interruptions. Emails, instant messages, and notifications from various apps relentlessly demanded her attention. The pivotal moment came when Sophie, in the middle of a critical presentation to a major client, found herself unable to complete a single coherent sentence. Her mind was so fragmented that she could barely remember the key points she had planned to make. I was there, in front of the client, but my mind was elsewhere, scattered in 1,000 pieces, she later reflected. The systemic overload had worn down her ability to focus, turning her once sharp mind into a muddled mess. The second story takes us to a small town in New Zealand, where a high school teacher named Mark decided to challenge his students with an experiment. He asked them to give up all digital devices for a week. The students, who had grown up in the digital age, were skeptical but agreed to the challenge. The first few days were tough. Many of them experienced withdrawal symptoms akin to giving up an addiction. However, as the week progressed, something remarkable happened. The students began to rediscover old hobbies, engage in deeper conversations with their families, and even report feeling a sense of calm they hadn't known in years. One student, Emma, who had been struggling with anxiety and insomnia, wrote in her journal, "For the first time, I feel like I'm really living, not just reacting." Mark's experiment revealed the profound impact that constant digital stimulation has on young minds, showing that the very environment we create can either foster focus or fragment it. The third story is set in Silicon Valley, where a software developer named Raj, who had worked for one of the world's largest tech companies, decided to leave his job after a sobering realization. Raj was part of a team that developed algorithms designed to keep users glued to their screens, maximizing engagement at all costs. Over time, he noticed that the same techniques he helped create were affecting him. He couldn't watch a movie without checking his phone, nor could he have a conversation without feeling the urge to scroll through social media. The final straw came when Raj found himself unable to read a book, a pastime he once loved. He would start a page, and within seconds, feel an almost physical compulsion to reach for his phone. "It's like I was being programmed by the very algorithms I helped design," he confessed. Raj's experience highlighted how even those who understand the mechanisms of distraction are not immune to their effects, as the system they operate within is designed to hijack attention. These stories paint a clear picture of how systemic forces, be it the constant barrage of digital distractions, the environments we cultivate, or the very technologies we create, are eroding our ability to focus. It's not just a matter of personal discipline or willpower. The problem is embedded in the systems we live and work within. The relentless speed and volume of information today overwhelm our cognitive resources, leaving us with little ability to focus deeply on any one task. This fire hose of information is not something we can simply turn off. It's built into our work environments, our social interactions, and even our leisure activities. The more we are bombarded with fragmented bits of information, the more our brains adapt to this frenetic pace, making it harder to slow down and think deeply. One striking insight from these stories is how our environments and the tools we use daily are shaping our cognitive abilities. The rise of technology has brought about unprecedented access to information, but at the cost of our attention. As one poignant line from the book puts it, we are being trained systematically to be distracted. This training is subtle and pervasive, often going unnoticed until our ability to concentrate is severely compromised. Moreover, the social dynamics of our time reinforce this constant state of distraction. Whether it's the expectation to be always available or the fear of missing out, our society has created a culture where deep attention is not just undervalued, but actively undermined. The stories of Sophie, Mark's students, and Raj demonstrate that when we step outside these environments, even briefly, we begin to see just how much our focus has been fractured. To reclaim our ability to focus, we must first recognize that this is not a battle against our own weaknesses, but against a system that profits from our distraction. It requires a collective effort to redesign our environments, both physical and digital, to support deep, sustained attention. This might mean setting stricter boundaries with technology, advocating for workplaces that value focused work, or simply taking deliberate steps to slow down and engage more deeply with the world around us. As the editor of Hardly, by understanding these systemic forces, we can begin to create a future where focus is not a rare commodity, but a standard we all strive for. This is not just about improving our individual lives. It's about reclaiming our collective ability to think deeply and solve the pressing problems of our time. The systemic forces eroding our ability to focus have quietly infiltrated every aspect of our lives, making deep attention increasingly elusive. This isn't just an individual struggle. It's a collective one, shaped by the environments and technologies we interact with daily. Consider the story of a mother named Claire, who realized the extent of her own distraction when her 5-year-old daughter, Lily, asked, "Mommy, why do you love your phone more than me?" Claire was stunned. She had always thought she was good at balancing work and family, but this innocent question made her see how often she turned to her phone instead of engaging with her daughter. Determined to change, Claire instituted a no screens rule during family time. It wasn't easy. Her hands would itch for her phone whenever there was a moment of silence. But gradually, she found that she could focus more on Lily, enjoying moments of pure connection that had been missing for years. This simple shift not only improved her relationship with her daughter, but also allowed Claire to rediscover the joy of being present. This story reinforces the key point. Our battle for attention isn't just about resisting temptation. It's about creating environments that support deep focus. By recognizing and pushing back against the systemic forces that fragment our attention, we can reclaim our ability to engage meaningfully with our lives and the people around us.